From the Scottish Highlands, our HOPA game today, requested by one of our followers, takes us for the depths of the sea, so stay tuned.
Artifex Mundi's 2012 offering, Abyss, The Wraiths of Eden, is our featured game on this episode's Throwback Thursday Gaming and released through Big Fish Games. The story starts with the prologue featuring diver Robert Marceau, who seemed to have discovered the ruins of an underwater city but was abducted and imprisoned by a sinister group of entities called legates. And this is where our player's character, Robert's unnamed fiancée, steps in. To her disbelief, she discovers that the city of Eden wasn't empty at all, as she encountered a small band of human survivors who were trying to dodge the legates, while trying to find a way to escape the city.
Although the core story of saving a loved one from evil forces is a trope played a million times before in video games, Abyss incorporates this in a mixed bag of sci-fi, a little supernatural horror, with a subtle hint of socio-political commentary. Although the lateral part might not be originally intended by the developers, which makes the game's presentation original and interesting.
And it seems that Artifex Mundi intended this game for all types of HOPA gamers, as it has 3 gaming modes: Casual, Advanced, and Expert. Although no custom option is available, so you can't adjust how fast you want the hit or skip button to refill. Nor would you be able to choose to only have special features in the tutorial when you play the game for the first time. You get the map shortly after starting the game. In some modes like Casual and Advanced, you get to see where you are and the areas of interest where a task can be completed. However, you can't use it to teleport. There are 22 hidden object scenes in the game, all by word list and are interactive. But if you're not in your usual hog finding mood, there's always an option to switch to playing dominoes instead. As for puzzles and minigames, there are 17 of them with the usual run-of-the-mill type, rotating rings, swapping pieces, etc. But if you get stumped in either a hog or puzzle, you can always use the skip or hint button. The hint button is also useful in directing you where to go until you get there. Otherwise, consulting the map will be just fine. And if you're the type of a HOPA gamer with a competitive streak, there's an achievement board which rewards you for certain tasks, such as finishing a hog game quickly, solving hogs or puzzles without using a hint, completing all the domino games, etc. Depending on how you play the game and how obsessed you are with getting all the achievements, you'll probably get about 7 to 9 hours out of this game.
Now here are the criticisms and some analysis of the game. So there might be some spoilers, but I'm gonna encourage you to watch anyway just to bump up the views for my channel.
First of all, while there are other kinds of puzzles, the variety on offer isn't as wide as some of Artifex Mundi's later games. The hidden object scenes are also reused numerous times in this game, so you'll be revisiting the same ramshackle wardrobe until it is practically picked clean.
And speaking of recycling the same objects, I noticed this. So the preacher of Enigmatis is now a scientist?
I don't know how you got here, but you better leave while you still can. They've already taken that other diver, Robert.
The voice acting can be hit or miss in these types of games, and fortunately, this game is a hit in my opinion. Nothing sounds phoned in, and the lines are delivered in a believable pitch and tone.
I said
The music is subtle, and you could sometimes forget it is there. It's mainly ambient sounds with a low constant tune that ramps up when a cutscene starts or something dynamic happens on screen.
We were so close!
It's all very fluid and non-distracting, and never makes it so the voices are hard to hear or understand.
Some gamers might also note that the Art Deco aesthetic of Eden is eerily similar to those of the City of Rapture from the game BioShock, which was released in 2007. To be fair, even I could not help but think that Abyss Maybe the HOPA Spirit game version of BioShock.
From what I see, perhaps this choice of aesthetic also reflects the time when Art Deco became popular in the 1920s, a period of decadence that occurred after the First World War, but abruptly ended with the beginning of the Second World War, and in effect reflects the similar fates of Eden and Rapture, two societies founded on optimism and ideals for a better tomorrow, only to be dragged back down to dark times by wars and oppression.
I must say that Artifex Mundi's use of a dystopian society theme also reminds me of their other game, Irony Curtain, from Matryoshka with Love, which is said to be partly inspired by the developer's background of growing up in a post-communist country. Write about what you know, as they say.
Some horror fiction fans would also notice that this statue is probably inspired by the Cthulhu myth, and judging from the scary elements of this game, it has hints of Lovecraftian horror, so this might be possible. It makes me wonder if the developers also used this as an inspiration for their other sea horror themed game, Nightmares of the Deep.
I've seen some reviews mentioning about the existence of a collector's edition, but so far from what I can see on Big Fish Games' website, where this game is still available, although it is also available on other game sites such as Steam. This is only available as a standard edition, although it still contains the sequel, which is a good thing, which means you don't have to shell out extra money for the bonus content. Shame that it didn't have other extras like wallpapers or soundtrack, but then it's probably asking too much.
The bonus game is sort of a prequel story featuring the character Gregory Logain. The city of Eden was already under the iron rule of the legates, and despite this, his wife thought it was a good idea to keep a diary recording the legates' human rights violations. Although the locations in the bonus chapter are a bit on the boring side, for example, a rundown hospital, the characterization and storytelling in it is slightly better than in the main game.
I would like to sound impartial here, but I must say that Artifex Mundi is winning me over here in terms of the overall packaging of this game. Sorry iPix, even if they recycled a few elements from other games. So that wraps up our Throwback Thursday gaming. Once again, this is the HOPA Gamer, and thank you for watching. So be sure to be on the lookout when we... Oh my...